Today I'm talking to María Luján Villabriga, Educational Program Director with the Global Penguin Society, and won a Disney Conservation Heroes in 2019. Congratulations, and thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Robert, for inviting me to give me the possibility to talk with you, with children that are all over the world.
Yeah, thank you. What is your favorite thing about penguins?
My favorite things about penguins, it's something that I admire, is that they invest a lot of effort to raise their chicks. Both parents, female and male, take turns to incubate the eggs and raise the chick. I really appreciate that effort because at the same time they raise their chick, they have to escape from different predators, such as ghouls, foxes, wildcats. So it's a lot of effort that they do.
Yeah. There are 18 species of penguin in the world. They can live in polar regions, deserts, or even forests. Which one is your favorite?
My favorite penguin species is the rockhopper penguin. Do you know?
No.
It's a penguin that have red eyes, a crazy yellow crest over their head. It's so funny, this kind of species, because it's so agile. They jump between the rocks in the cliff to get their nest. So they are very, very good jumping, very interesting and funny. Another species that I like a lot is the Magellanic penguin. It's the penguin that is in my background because I work with them in Patagonia, Argentina, where I right now. Every year, we organize school trips to visit Magellanic penguin colonies. We take hundreds of children from different cities in Patagonia to visit the Magellanic penguin colony for the first time. So I learned a lot of this kind of penguin. I learned how they raise their chick, how they eat, the courtship of the couple, several interesting behaviors that we learn in the colony. So it's the other species that I admire a lot.
That's really cool. My favorite penguin is the emperors. They can survive a bone-chilling -50 Celsius, and with winds of up to 200 kilometers per hour. The dads take care of the babies and don't eat for 4 months. They can also huddle up in groups of 5,000 to stay warm. Plus, their deepest record dive was 564 meters. That's higher than the CN Tower. And the longest dive was nearly 28 minutes. They are excellent indicators of ocean health, and it won't be a surprise to find out that more than half of these are considered threatened. What is causing penguin numbers to drop?
As you mentioned before, Robert, the last 30 years, 14 species of penguins were reclassified to a more severe status of conservation. The main threats are climate change that affect penguins that live in Antarctica, but climate change disrupts the formation and melting of the ice, so the penguins haven't got a suitable habitat for breeding and feeding in Antarctica, but also affect penguins who live in temperate regions, such as Patagonia, where I live, because the warming of the ocean is changing the distribution of the fishes. So if they have to feed their chicks and there aren't enough fish in the ocean, it's a problem for them. Another conservation problem is the oil pollution of the ocean. That is the main threat that cause the decline of the African penguin. The oil pollution is a problem for them and for other species of penguins because penguins can't fly, so they are very exposed to oil spills in the oceans. They can swim, they get colder, and they go out to the ocean because the oil disrupt their feeders, you know. Another threats that they face are the human disturbance. because there are new colonies that are out of the natural protected areas. Tourists, people go to spend a very beautiful day on the beach, but they take dogs, cats, and it's a problem for penguins because the dogs run around the penguins. They get fire the bushes where penguins build the nest, or some people drive for trucks on the beaches. This is the main reason of our work. We work to create natural protected areas to regulate the human activities there. Another threat that it's very important to know is the plastic pollution in our oceans. It's an emerging issue that affects globally the oceans. And we found more evidence in the colonies that we study about penguins that were affected by plastic. They can eat plastic, or they have plastic around their nest, in their nest, and they raise their chicks with plastic bags, bottles, the next. Another situation, we found a penguin with the pieces of bottle around the neck. This problem, it's a huge problem as well. And the last threat is the mismanagement of the fisheries, because if the fisheries take enormous amount of fish where penguins are feeding their chicks, they can overlap the human activities with the area where it's very important for the penguins. So it's another problem that they have.
Both the emperor penguin and the Adelie penguins rely on sea ice for families and food, like polar bears in the Arctic. It is critical to their survival. What happens if the average global temperature rises by more than 2 degrees Celsius?
The warming of the ocean disrupts the formation of ice. So if you are an Antarctic penguin and you go to the Antarctica, it's possible that you don't find a suitable habitat for breed your chicks and enough feeding as well, because the rot of the ice change the balance of the ecosystem, and there aren't enough food for penguins and for marine wildlife.
What is your funniest story from working with penguins?
I remember that when I was working in Punta Tombo, one of the biggest colony of Magellanic penguin, we weighed the penguins when they go to the ocean and when they return to their nest. We put on the ground a device that had cables to the computer, and we noticed that the device didn't work. We wonder what is happening. So we decided to put a camera to understand why didn't work. And we found that a group of vandal penguins pick up with the beak the cables and turn off the device every year. And we really surprised it. And we thought that they were so clever, but it was amazing.
What do you wish more people knew about penguins?
I want to raise awareness about the importance of protecting penguins and the oceans. You don't need to be a biologist or a researcher to protect penguins. Everyone has a very key role to protect the penguins and the environment where they live. That's our aim. Raise awareness among people to protect penguins.
What can kids do to help?
One simple thing that kids can do to help penguins is try to avoid single-use plastic items in your daily life and replace it with reusable items. Because as I mentioned before, plastic is a very huge problem for penguins and the oceans. We can reduce the impact of plastic with very little change of behavior. When you go to the supermarket, choose these items with less packaging. Another thing that children can do to learn more about penguins is visit our website, globalpenguinsociety.org, and download a book called Meet the Penguins. It's an activity book, very useful for children to learn more about penguins. I have here. This is the Spanish version, but the English version is available in our website. I invite all children around the world download this because it's really interesting book about penguins.
That's cool. Thanks so much for joining me today. Click the link below to get the book and to donate to Global Penguin Society. And remember, together kids can save the world. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Robert. Bye bye.